here's Brody Brazil.
The voicemail line is open 24/7. The number is 8334. Brody, if you've got something to say, it could be a question, a comment, or any type of contribution to this YouTube channel, I'll take it. I listen to all of the calls. I get to play back and respond to the very best ones, like right here on future videos.
Hey, Brody, this is Guillermo from Kansas City, Missouri. I was wondering if you would think that the NFL will be adding a 19th week in the future. Obviously, it would be evening out the home and away games.
Right.
Obviously, the bye week. So I just want to know your thoughts on this. Is it something they should do, something they shouldn't do, and what do they need to do if they want to do it in the future?
Guillermo, thank you very much for the call. I think it might have got cut off there at the end, but I totally understand your question, your comment, your point, and some speculation that everybody can realize the NFL is going and growing in one direction. That's up in terms of attention and revenue, and so, of course, they're maybe a little bit inspired to have a Week 19, which would get them to 18 total games, which would then balance out that schedule, right? To have 9 home, 9 away, and that seems more fair for every team in every season. They already have like strength of schedule things, and every team's schedule is done with some strategy behind it. But I really think about this. Over the course of every football season, how is it that some years you play more home games, other years you play more road games, and all those same teams are competing to end up in the Super Bowl and try and win it? So I'll state this. The league has already opposed stretching things out to 19 weeks. But they've also considered, like greatly considered at the highest of levels from what we've understood, that they have considered an 18-game schedule with a bye week. Now, wait a second. How exactly do you do that? I don't even understand. Wait, you're going to have 18 weeks and 18 games with a bye week? Is the NFL moving time around? Do they have the ability to shift time? Quite possibly. I can't even pretend to understand how they want to do that, how they think that's even possible. I've also heard, hey, if you stretch this out a couple weeks, maybe you could have a universal bye week and then do some type of all-star situation, Pro Bowl midseason. I think that's a terrible idea. I think the NFL season, one thing people appreciate about it is that there is no half-season break. Basketball has that. Baseball has that. The NHL has that. Obviously, those are a lot more games over a longer time span. But I think people like the fact that the NFL is something every week, and there's no week where everybody, like in the entire league, takes a week off. So I don't see that happening anytime soon. I don't understand how you fit 18 games into 18 weeks and a bye week, but that's the league and the team's respective opinion. The players, yeah, they do not want this at all. And I could spell out like all their reservations, from injuries to what do we do with contracts? Like, you're asking me to play one more week, so do we factor in new numbers for my contract if we're going to expand this? It just gets so complicated so quickly because it's not what everybody already signed up for. Now, I do think that you could entice the players, like if you threw them enough things back in return, if you said, hey, we'll take care of your salaries, we also will have a second bye week. Like, we'll stretch out the season. See, I don't know why the league is opposed to stretching out the season, because actually, if you stretch it out, if you could have your Super Bowl the day before President's Day, like mid-February, I think it's going to happen on like the 15th. President's Day is on the 16th this year, so the Sunday would be the 15th. Anyway, my point is, the Super Bowl is always one weekend ahead of President's Day. And what do most people want to do the day after the Super Bowl? They don't want to go to work. Make that Monday part of the Super Bowl weekend, the President's Day on Monday, Super Bowl Sunday. Give everybody a 3-day weekend for Super Bowl Sunday. Why not? Why not stretch the weeks out? Why not get to 19 weeks? Why not go to 18 games? Why not try and throw in 2 bye weeks? Now, how do I feel about that? I'm not saying a unified bye week. I'm saying every team at somewhere early and somewhere late, generally speaking, you get a bye week. And you know what? If you are thinking about adding teams overseas one day, you're definitely going to need that extra bye week. You're going to need to install that, I think, sooner than later. I'm okay with that. I think everybody would be up for extending the season and giving their team one more week of rest. But the other problem is, I don't know about changing the beginning part of the season. Like, I think all of this is fixed at the end of football seasons, because at the beginning, we used to have 4 weeks of preseason, and that was way too much. By week 4 of preseason, it was like, what are we doing here? Just start the season. But now we're down to 3 preseason games since a couple years ago. And if you got it down to 2, like if you were shaving off the beginning of the year with the preseason, that doesn't seem like enough. 2 games and training camps being even as long but as short as they are doesn't seem like enough to get everybody up to full speed. 3 feels probably about right. 3 feels like a little bit more than you need, but it's definitely not too short. Again, I've already said the end of the season is what should be extended. Get that 3-day weekend with the President's Day holiday. But all of this, you need to understand, all of this is unlikely to change because it's so complicated. They have made changes before without being in a CBA negotiating period. But right now, the collective bargaining agreement between the players and the league, it expires after the 2030 season. And we are a ways away from that, obviously. Now, it's not impossible that these two sides could collectively bargain on changing that, but it's going to be difficult to make major format changes before the 2031 football season. So again, even though the league is probably up for this, the real question is, are they willing to give the players and pretty much everything the players would want out of this? Like more amenities, 2 weeks off, 2 bye weeks. I don't know, fix the contract situation so everybody gets a little bit of a bump in their salary. I think if you checked all the boxes for the players, and they're going to have a lot of boxes, this could happen, but that's also probably the reason why this won't happen anytime soon. Let me know what you think about this in the comments section below. You as a fan, are you up for or do you not care, or are you against having an 18-game season, even if it takes 19 or I guess potentially 20 weeks? And what do you think about that Super Bowl being on President's Day weekend? All that in the comments section below. Also, thumbs up while you're down there helps me, this video, and this channel. And don't forget to subscribe. I would love to see you back here next time.